Welcome to the CIA. One love, FBI. What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Time for a broadcast that I think is going to be very important. Something a lot of folks should need to know, should hear. And honestly, it kind of surprising to me that so many guys today don't seem to get this. And we're going to get into it. All right. So if you saw my broadcast earlier, what high value men value in women, you know, I've been building up to this broadcast. I've been building up to this broadcast talking about, you know, yesterday I talked about professional wussies, what high value men value in women. There's some terms you're going to need to be familiar with. CIA, confident, intelligent, and assertive. That's what I think men should strive to be in their lives. Confident, intelligent, and assertive. But there are 3 levels. You know, if the average man could get to be confident, intelligent, and assertive, I think he'd live a pretty happy life. But there are levels to this stuff. And that's what we got to start really getting to as men. We got to start, the fact that there's rankings and hierarchies and guys that are arguably better than other men should not be so contentious, but it is. I mean, to the point where you'll hear men today talking about a billionaire ain't no better than me. Yeah, he is. This whole society where everybody gets a trophy and just because you have a penis and some testicles, that you're the equal of another man. No, that's not how the world works. And today we're going to talk about how the world works. So if you are sensitive, you need to go ahead and log off. If you're not good with differentiations being made with men, if you're going to feel some kind of way, you need to log off. Because the reality is there are distinctions between men. And women notice them, so do men. So you're going to have to just get over it. You're going to have to get over it if you want to get any better in this life. If you want to get any better in this life, you're going to have to get over it. We keep score as men, and we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be keeping score. We are supposed to pay attention to who's doing what. Everybody cannot win. Everybody doesn't get to live in a mansion. Everybody doesn't get to be king. There's one king, there's one CEO, there's one president at a time. And this whole thing about there's no differentiation between men, that's broke man talk. That's broke man talk, and that's bullshit. Like I said, when I hear these kind of things, I'm just like, okay, that's the world you live in, must be nice. But in the world that I live in, there is a distinction between a private and a general. And to honestly, and if you're a man out there and you don't recognize this as the truth, you're going to be sad. So, before I get started, I want to show you guys a new toy real quick. You guys see that? You see this? This is my new teleprompter. Yep, my new teleprompter. So when I'm out, I'm actually going to switch up the way I make videos. So this is what the teleprompter looked like that, but on the backside, that's what it looks like on the camera. Yep. Taking the game to the next level, getting more consistent with how I make videos because I'm a professional. professionals do this kind of stuff. When I started out as on YouTube, I was a professional in the real world, but I wasn't a professional YouTuber. And I started off filming on something like this. But as I've developed, hold on. But as I've grown and developed in my YouTube presentation, you have to grow and develop. I went from that to something like this. Little Sony point and shoot vlogging camera. No microphone on this. So the sound wasn't as good as it could be. Better than the iPhone. The iPhone I had used to shoot 720. This was an upgrade because it did 1080, but no microphone. But what happened next? I needed something that was going to do 4K, and I got this. But guess what? The screen doesn't flip up. Sony A6300. Oh, the other iPhone, because this was the original iPhone 7 Plus, but it had a 1080 camera on it. The camera on the new iPhone XS Max was better. So as a professional, wanting to put my professional effort front and center, because I plan on competing, you got to continue to get better. A year later, Sony came out with this camera, the 6400. And the 6400 does everything the 6300 does, except it actually has what Sony has been missing for so long. Oops, I'm sorry, this is the 6300. This is the 6300. So scratch that. The 6300 was what I upgraded to after the vlog camera. But then the 6400 came out and it did this. It has the flip screen. So when I'm doing my whole teleprompter thing, I can see how I look in the shot. I can still read what I need to read to keep my notes, so I can save you valuable time. Why am I showing you all these cameras and things like that? Because I'm a professional. Even when I'm out and about walking around on Instagram, I don't want to sit back and have my camera jittering all over the place. I don't want to have it looking like trash, because I care about my professional image, because I'm a professional. So now I have this when I don't have my other cameras. Yep, that's a camera. It's a light. It's a microphone. Damn. All that from an image consultant? Because I'm a professional. You starting to notice a theme here? Huh. Podcaster, microphone, USB, because I'm a professional. How many of you folks consider yourself to be professionals? Professionals do professional stuff. And that's the difference between how pros think and folks without professions. What's this? Oh, it's another microphone. In case that one goes down, traditional XLR microphone, because I'm a professional. Notice the lighting. The lighting has changed in here. Those are my background lights. Then I have a ring light over here. And all of that is just to make sure that the quality of the content gets better over time, because a professional has an end goal in mind. It's not just some shit you do. So, understand something. When you start talking about high value, when you start talking about quality women, you start talking about being a builder and doing things, building your empire and all this other kind of stuff, understand something. That there's a difference between just doing shit and being a professional. Ladies, one of the questions that, if you know you're FBI, feminine, beautiful, inspiration, you know you're out there doing what you need to do, a question you need to ask any man that's sitting in front of you trying to take your time, you need to ask him, what's your profession? This should not be an insult. Someone asking a man what his profession is should be as common as asking the temperature. Should be as common as asking what time it is. Because a man should have a profession. By age 25, if you don't have a profession, you need to do some, you need some adjustment. Let me go ahead and do some background. All right. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. We're about to get into it. Let's have some definitions. Jobs versus profession. A job is something you do. A job versus a profession. Let's define it. The field in which a person works is his profession, while the role you perform is your job. Thus, a person who's received a degree in law performs the job of a lawyer, but his profession is but he's in the legal profession. That's the difference between profession and a job. Now, here's a differentiation between a professional career and just jobs. A job is something you do to simply earn money. A career is a series of connected employment opportunities. A job has a minimal impact on the future. A job has minimal impact on your future work life, while a career provides experience and learning to fuel your future. A job offers few networking opportunities, but a career is loaded with them. The bottom line is, goddamn it, by age 25 years old, you should have it. By age 25 years old, you should have a career. You should have a profession and you should have a career. When I say a profession, I mean I'm synonymous with career. If you're out here talking about you're a high value man, you're a man of mean, you're a substance, and you don't have a profession, I need to look at you with a side eye, because look here, man, the world knows that a man is his profession. So, before I get, and a profession is something you should be able to say in under 5 seconds. What is your profession? Business to business sales. I'm a salesman. I'm an attorney. I'm an accountant. I'm a welder. I'm a plumber. Insurance salesman. I'm a family medicine, general practice, internist, cardiologist. But see, the thing is, your profession says a lot about your money and your status. Yes, so we're going to talk about money, social class, and how it affects the quality of woman you get and the opportunity you get. First and foremost, far too many guys today don't have professions. You don't have careers, you have jobs. Job is just what you do to earn money. And you can have any job. You could have a job loading boxes, you can have a job raking leaves, you can have a job stock. Jobs tend to be hourly. You can go get a job working at a convenience store. But a profession, a career, is series of steps to where there should be a path. How many of you guys actually have a professional career? How many of you guys actually have a profession? Come on, let's get into it. How many folks, how many men out there or out, you can actually say you got a profession. Come on, tell me who has a profession. Because I'm about to get into it. If you can't, and here's the thing, you should be able to tell me your profession. I should not have to put it together for you. And if you don't know your profession, that means you don't know your job and the field you work in. And if you're not in a consistent field, if you've had all these things that don't connect, that puts you in a lower social class. You're not a professional. Are you hourly or salary? All this stuff matters. And we're about to get into it because, like it or not, you can't just go make this shit up. There are rules out here. There are rules out here. And what you do, what you make, how you make your money, all that stuff determines your network, your net worth, the quality and the quantity of poon you're going to get, all that shit. And you need to have started it by age 25. So let me go ahead and speak to this earlier. I was on Instagram earlier and I had a guy come in and say, Godfather, I love what you talk about, man, but lately I feel like you've been talking down to us late bloomers. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you stuff that's the truth. A lot of people wouldn't even take the time. But if you are a late bloomer, that's fine. But by definition, you know you're behind. If you're a late bloomer, that means you need to be working 3 times as hard to catch up. If you are after 25 years old and you're just now figuring out what the hell you want to do, you're behind. That means you got to be putting in 80 hours a week because guys who are doing it are putting in 60. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. See, people aren't pressed to lose a job. Jobs come, jobs go. Nobody's pressed to lose a job. You're just working with a career. A career? Oh, you got to do some planning. Let's talk about the value of a career. Having a career is important for so many reasons, but we got to speak to the late bloomers and the guys who are going to be following this. And I'm going to tell you right now, the world doesn't care. You're 25 years old, it expects you to be someplace and expects you to have figured out what it is you want to do and start doing it. You should have had it figured out between the ages of 18 and 22. You should have 3 years into your career, by 2 to 3 years into your career by age 25. Made up titles and all this other shit don't matter. A profession, a career is something that is transferable, meaning you could be an accountant in Houston. You can go be an accountant in Dallas. You can go be an accountant in Boston. You can be an accountant inside of a company or outside of a company. But a lot of you guys just have titles and jobs. You really have a job because a job is a conflated title that really doesn't matter in the real world. Having a career is important in life for several reasons. A good and stable career offers stability and peace of mind in life. One of the things Obsidian talks about is he came right out of high school and he was 22 years, he was a machinist. That's a profession. Why do you think he talks about his profession the way he does? Because it's not a job. There's a path. Blue collar, white collar, does not matter. It's a profession. A good, stable career offers stability and peace of mind in life. Let me go ahead and put down social class, money, travel, knowledge. We're going to get into it. Being assured of a stable stream of income, we are spared a lot of the stress and tensions in life. We're spared a lot of the stress that not having a career has. See, if you are working an hourly job, you got stress. You can't take off. You take off, it costs you. A career, you have vacation, time off, blah, blah, blah. How many people raise your hand if you just have a job? If you have a job, if you're hourly, raise your hand. A good career means you can live a reasonably good life and achieve many of your dreams. Having little tensions due to career.
Can you be a late bloomer and not acknowledge your own skill?
Can you be a late bloomer and not acknowledge your own skill? I don't understand what you mean. A late bloomer and not acknowledge your own skill. See, first off, a late bloomer just means you're not living where you should be. You're earning below what you should be earning, and you're not defined as a man. See, this ain't about being happy. It's about being a man. A man needs a profession. So it has nothing to do with your skill level or anything else. It has everything to do with your commitment to being a part of society. Careers tend to not have as much tension and stress as jobs do. But we can always follow our hobbies and interests to lead a more fulfilling life, right? Well, you can go do that. But there's not a lot of money in following your hobbies and interests. This is why men, a career does not mean being happy. I don't know many people who are fulfilled in their career. It's just what you do. So men, we don't worry about this going out and following our passion and being, no. Purpose and passion, that's new wage shit. And for me, I got a chance to do what I was really meant to do after 20 plus years of doing what I had to do. But here's the thing, I would not be as an effective image consultant today if I didn't have all my corporate background. Good careers can provide you financial security to raise your family in a secure and safe environment. This is why women, you need to ask a man what his profession is. Fuck what he says, fuck what he look like. All the game goes out of the window when we start talking about money. Money clarifies shit. Knowing a man's profession, you know about what he makes. And here's the thing, if a man can't tell you his profession, he's hiding something. He doesn't want you to know what he's making. What's your profession? Well, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. Let me put this down too. All these business owners. We're gonna get into this. Being a business owner today don't mean what it did 75 years ago. Anybody can go out in LegalZoom and file and get an LLC and sell soap, and sell tiddlywinks. We're gonna get into it. The biggest thing a professional career does is it gives you a sense of direction in your life by giving your life purpose worth fulfilling. Go back to Obsidian. Does anybody think that Obsidian didn't have a direction in life? Go out to O'Shea. O'Shea is in medical school. I think O'Shea would say he's a late bloomer, but think of the balls it took to go from Sacramento to Poland by yourself, to bet on yourself, to go to medical school. That is a sense of purpose that is leading to a fulfilling life. Jobs don't do that. Jobs are dead ends. It's just you out there exchanging very valuable life for a little bit of money. Let me tell you something about a job. A job is a détente. A job they're going to pay you just enough to where you can't quit, and you're going to do just enough to not get fired. There's a guy who came in here last week talking about he'd been stuck at a place for 13 years. That's his fault. 4 years into it, he should have quit. But he's got a job that requires a high school diploma. It's not a career. He quits that job there, he goes work someplace else, you're going to find out you got a 13-year gap in your resume. A resume. See, careers have resumes. Jobs don't. This is why when a brother in University of Alabama, the dean of students had to resign. People are going back and forth talking about what he should not have done. He has to think about his career path.
I can explain. I
Not a
am
job.
a late bloomer in terms of the jobs I chose, but I make money trading and investing, which I was forced to make extra money.
You said I make money trading and investing, but you're just doing shit. You make money trading and investing for yourself. You're not working for Morgan Stanley. You're not working for Goldman Sachs. See, so many people today have hustles, Uber, day trading, Bitcoin, and all these things are fine additional streams of income, but they are not careers. They're not professions. That's why when somebody asks you what you do, you cannot tell them. You can't say I'm a plumber. I'm an auto mechanic. I'm an airline pilot. And honestly, when you can't tell somebody what you do, you sound like a boy. Prophet of Thought, Brother Xavier, he's an auto mechanic. That's simple to say. I'm an auto mechanic. And he owns a shop, several shops. He's an employer. See, that's why I said this thing is really simple. And this is why, and honestly, women look through this. When women are looking at men, they're looking at your profession. They're looking at your career and judging a whole lot of things. And here's some of the things they're going to judge. Your stability. Your stability and your ability to plan. Because if you can't go out here and talk about getting a dime, you can't go out here and talk about getting a dime piece when you don't have a plan. I said a man has a plan. If you don't have a plan for your career, you don't have a plan for her. You're just trying to get some fine ass. It also helps us attain status in life and in society. That is a problem. It helps us getting social acceptance as a person's a good career. We're treated with respect. See, miss me with all this. We're all equal as men. No, we're not. There are better men. And I don't, like I said, it is time. Well, you don't have to, but you're probably not going to be on this channel. There are differentiations. Societal acceptance. Success is a team sport. No one becomes a multimillionaire or billionaire by themselves. And again, I'm not talking about athletes and entertainers. They go over here. I'm talking about the business class of the world. I'm talking about the job creators of the world. The people who really make the economy, not the athletes and entertainers. Athletes, entertainers, actors, I'm not talking about those. They don't even come into the conversation. Your social status is determined greatly by your career and your profession. It provides structure to life because it helps you achieve your career goals, and you're structured and you're predictable. See, an FBI woman, a feminine woman, needs to know you got a plan and a path. That means you need to be structured and predictable. Jobs are not structured nor predictable. Jobs are for boys. Jobs are for boys. I had a job when I was 16 years old. Careers are for men. And you should be in your career by 25. Honestly, you should be in your career by 23. How many people over 25 right now and you're not in your career? Also, a career, a profession, it helps you make more acquaintances and friends in your profession. Acquaintances make life more enjoyable. See, this nuclear family thing where we got a wife and 2-3 kids, that's small. No. We need tribes. We need 30 to 40 to 50 people. Humans are social creatures. We live in too small of networks, and a career profession allows you to build your tribe, your community, to where you can be involved at the chamber, the Rotary, the Boys and Girls Club, the fraternity, the church, and all these things. You can become known, and everybody knows. Oh, that's Kobe. He's the town So, why is being a professional important? Why is being professional important? Well, got to understand something, man. So much depends upon what you do and your level of professionalism. You can tell people who've never had honestly, it is easy to tell people who have never been in a professional environment. Even when you're out here on social media. For somebody like myself, it's easy for me to tell people who've had jobs and hustles versus careers. They talk and they move different. Professionalism. What is professionalism? Simply put, professionalism is the way you conduct yourself at work because you represent yourself and the company in a positive way. It includes standards of behavior that may be mandated by an employee handbook, like adhering to certain dress code, as well as traits that are harder to pin down but are still valuable as professionals in the workplace. Professionalism goes beyond a simple checklist of requirements. It means embodying the values and serving a brand, basically serving the brand. When you've worked in a profession, you understand, you've had an employee handbook, you've had a mission statement, you've had these things. When you have a job, you don't have all this stuff. You have a career or a profession, you've had training, you had onboarding. When you just had a job, you don't have all this stuff. And the problem is we got far more women out here who have professions and career paths and more guys who have jobs. It's not about the amount of money right now. It's about the mindset. Signs of experts agree that professionalism is one of the biggest factors in your level of career success. Your level of professionalism will make or break your career. Without it, you'll never be taken seriously, and you may even be overlooked when it comes to be time to be considered for promotion. That's what I was trying to tell a guy the other day. Your professionalism make or break your career. That is why, as a 23-year-old man, the best thing you can do right now is stop trying to pay off your credit card debt and get your debt down and do all this other. The best thing you can do is take your money and invest it. Go get your teeth fixed. Go get a personal trainer. Get an image consultant. Get your wardrobe together. Look the part. This is what guys who are multimillionaires over and over. Grant Cardone will tell you this. Dan Locke will tell you this. Jordan Belfort will tell you this. Tony Robbins will tell you this. People with far more money will tell you, stop trying to pay off your debt. That is poor people thinking. Professionals, you can put yourself in a position while you're young to reap more money. But you don't want to do that because it sounds like risk, and that's mama coming out. Because when it gets right down to it, business is war, and you're out there competing. And your level of professionalism is going to make or break you. It's clear. It's clear that professionalism is important. But what are the real life signs of professionalism that employers and people are looking for? The first and foremost things is appropriate attire. Drop the goddamn Jordans if you're a professional. Get out of the sweatshirts, jerseys, ball caps, tattoos, all other kind of stuff. I told the women earlier, I'm telling you, appropriate attire. That's why I'm an image consultant. I know how powerful image is. Hit the like button, folks. I'm sitting here talking to myself. All right, we got to get the likes up to over 200, or we're not going to go any further. I mean, it's crazy. 286 people in here and 106 likes. Man, come on, man. All right, so let me turn this off. Because I've been through this. I don't need to know this stuff. If you haven't gone through career planning, if you haven't gone through actual personalized career planning, you don't know what I'm talking about. And if you're working inside of a corporation or you plan on it, understand something. What you don't know will kill you. Hit the like button. And also, now with 300 people watching, man, we're going to need 10 people to hit the damn super chat. Because again, this is stuff you would have to pay hundreds of dollars for individually to get career training. See, a lot of you guys are going to think I'm being a dick by some of the things I'm about to say, and it's because you're pussies. Understand something. The world is run by dicks, and dicks fuck pussies. I said this on Instagram. A lot of women today don't like, a lot of women are out there today complaining about the amount of men who are pussies because they have a pussy. You have to be a dick in order to get up the food chain, because it's going to be from conflict, aggression, and assertion. And being a dick is telling people stuff that they don't want to hear. Well, you're hurting my feelings. You're making me feel like I'm not here. I'm a late bloomer. I was raised in a bad neighborhood. I didn't have. Who gives a shit, man? It's time to run and compete. You're a late bloomer, then you're gonna have to lose sleep. You're a late bloomer. That means you're gonna have to put in 80+ hours a week. You know you're a late bloomer. That means you cannot run at the same speed somebody who comes from three generations of attorneys can run from. You can't run at the same speed that Brad does because his father, because he's a legacy. And hey man, that's the real. Yeah, I'm about to be a real dick about some things, but you know what? If you can't handle what I'm about to say, you do not want to try to step your foot out here in the real world and compete in anything higher than a job. Because when you get out here above the manager level, the director and executive level, you better believe that they say FYF, fuck your feelings. If you want to do anything other than just simply have a job to where you exchange your life for dollars, a job is what you do. It's what you do simply. You go work 40 hours, they give you some money. And understand something. That's the lowest level of work. You're being pimped. You a $2 hoe. I was too. And the thing is, as a hoe, a $2 hoe, you know you're a $2 hoe. What do you want to do with your $2 hoe? You want to get up to be a $5 hoe, a $10 hoe, a $20 hoe, a $100 hoe, a $300 hoe, to the point to where you stop hoeing and start being the madam to the other hoes. You want to get off the track and become the bottom bitch. There's always somebody trying to hustle up. See, jobs, man. Anyway, that's one. William Smith put in $24.99. Y'all need to go ahead and put something in too, man. Don't let him carry the bait. Come on. I will turn this shit off and go send it straight to Patreon. I would turn this shit straight up and send it straight to Patreon because I've worked for AT&T, Exxon, Mobil, Office Depot, corporate. The stuff that happens in these Fortune 500, Fortune 100, 500, 100 companies, executive management, I've been in executive lock-ins. An executive lock-in is where they take the high-level managers and send us off to a retreat for the weekend. No phones, no email, no nothing. And we sit around and brainstorm. Yeah, I'm in there with Brad and Tiffany and Ahmed and in there planning your life. So Josh, Keith, who are my guys? Who are Henry? Henry, high earners, not rich yet. Josh, the white guy. Keith, the black guy. Lee, the Asian guy. Jose, the Hispanic guy. Ahmed, the Middle Eastern guy. Henry, these guys are Henry. High earners, not rich yet. You need to understand, in order to go from the account executive level to get up here, you have to have professionalism and career pathing. That means you're going to need to invest.
I spent most of my life trying to avoid working 60 hours a week so I could be a family man. Now, I'm just a guy with a family working 50 hours a week at a job. Thank God for this.
What's going on, Sean? Sean know who I'm talking about. Me and Sean have talked many times, man. Look here, man. Career planning, you should not be going. Why are you doing what you're doing right now if you don't have an end goal? See, the movie Infinity War was great because we had a villain who was laser focused on his goal. Thanos knew what he wanted to do and why he wanted to do it. It gave him a singular focus. You don't have a singular focus because you have a job. You're just doing shit. And when you're doing shit, you're not valuable to anybody. Come on, we got 1, 2, 3. We're 7 behind. You're going to want to hear this next part because we're going to get into blue collar, white collar, military. I'm about to ruffle some feathers. But if you went, especially if you went to college, and you have a degree and you don't have any career pathing, and trust me, what that little bullshit they do at the university ain't worth a damn. If you haven't spent serious money and had somebody write your professional resume, if you haven't went to work with an actual recruiter to plan your career, go over here where the other 80% are. Because the 20% and higher, they have coaches, trainers, they are paying a staff of professionals to help them reach the heights. If you are a professional, there should be some signs. Why did I show you guys all the cameras and stuff I had earlier? Signs of professionalism. Why do I get on the camera when I live stream and I'm usually in a suit? Shout out Patrick Lamore. Why am I usually in a suit when it's 100 degrees outside? Because I'm a professional. Understand something. Professionalism is
Should you work in college?
Should you work in college? If you can avoid it, no. If you can avoid working in college, I say no. Internships are what you should work in college. You should focus laser-like on your schoolwork and building your network. Honestly, if you can avoid working, I would say avoid it. Professionalism, the first thing is appropriate attire. If you have not had an image consult as a professional, you are screwing yourself. You're leaving it all up to chance. Like it or not, appearance plays a huge part of how others view you. And that includes your level of professionalism. And it's even more so today with social media and smartphones. Used to be, if you were in Boston and somebody worked in the LA office, they may know your name, but now they can know everything about you. They can go online to your LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and get a perception of who you are. Your image, ABCD, appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint. So many people get fucked out of jobs because they have poor images. How dare you think you're going to be a six-figure career person?
Great advice. I am 41. Wish I could have got this game at 25, but luckily I am established in my career, doing well for myself. However, I am always trying to learn more and better myself.
See, for us who are in Generation X or late millennials, for the people who are mid-40s plus, we're in the thick of it. But if you are 38 and under, you are in a whole new game. Your image is going to make or break you. And everything that you don't take direct control of will be controlled for you. Let me say that again. Everything you don't take direct control of will be controlled for you. Control what you can control, and your image is something you have 100% control of.
Thanks for being the first legit white-collar brother on You Speak #facts ABT the Buckhead vibe. Hope to see you there on the weekends.
Certainly will. The way you speak and dress are birth your first impression of your professionalism. In an attempt to show potential employees and other people you have the characteristics you need to act and look the part. This has everything to do with your career and your personal life, because women of quality are looking for men with professions. And each profession has its own language, its own vibe. Look, man, Sean is in here. I put my foot directly in Sean's shoulder blades, and I told him, man, you decided to become an attorney. So that means you have to look like an attorney. You have to drive like an attorney, live like an attorney. Everything you do, you picked it. You picked your career. See, a job is lower level. Signs of professionalism. Your image, I gotta hammer that. Next, strong communication skills. Nearly every job requires employees to communicate with others through writing and in face-to-face. How are your writing skills? Oh, Jesus. If you had to write an email to a customer.
Bro, you're spitting facts. I have been in a world where I have been locked in just mind state of hustling. Going from the hustle mind state to business mind state is a journey. I appreciate it, Duke.
All right, man, I'm gonna take a slight break, but I need to focus on this one little piece. Your writing skills must be top-notch, gentlemen. Everything. And I can tell you, in this social media age where we do it in 120 characters or less, too many guys' writing skills are terrible. And you can be the most accomplished dude and completely screw your career up because of such poor writing skills. You need to practice writing, which means you need to start reading. And you need to practice how you communicate face-to-face. You can show off your communication skills by simply preparing well for an interview so that you appear calm rather than flustered. Look, man, this is where appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint. Guys I work with, head and shoulder better than their competition because these things come front of mind. All right, guys, I need to grab something real quick. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be back in, let me see. Bathroom break. And we can do this. We're just getting into it, man. Settle in because we are going to take it to the next level. By the time we leave here, I'll tell you this. You'll be glad that you came to this live stream. Because the guys who didn't, the people who didn't, oh my. They'll be like, how did you learn all this stuff? I watched The Godfather. All right. So we got into all the breakdowns of career versus job versus this versus that. Now we're into the thick of it. Professionalism. Professionalism is something that professionals have. You don't really need a lot of professionalism when you have a job. Think about the last time you went to Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, any place where somebody was just an hourly worker. Professionalism is the thing that is often the distinction between jobs and careers. Appropriate attire, communication skills, ethical actions. When you are working with other people, you are judged heavily upon your veracity. Being honest and ethical suggests professionalism. Understand something. This does not mean you have to be a choir boy. Trust me, I've seen plenty of gray area stuff in companies. Thing is, the people in the organization need to be able to trust you. With company secrets, sensitive information, the higher up you go, the more is at stake. You have to have a strong code of ethics, especially when you're talking about stockholder money, investor money. I mean, people see it happening here to a lesser degree on YouTube. Professionals are calm under stress. Look, man, shit happens. But professionals know how to run towards an issue. Somebody earlier today said their profession was a firefighter. Firefighters are highly professionals, in my opinion. They run into a burning structure. Every job has difficult moments. True professionals handle stress issues that crop out without causing a scene or complaining to coworkers. Stop, and as a man, let me take a segment here. Stop complaining, man. To coworkers and women, complaining impotently is not a good look professionally. Now, complaining is a right, it's sovereign, but you need to complain with a resolution in mind. I mean, that's what we do as professionals. We fix shit. Professionalism is being able to handle yourself in a professional environment. Don't lose your cool, you respond appropriately even when pressure is on. Be mindful of your thoughts and actions in front of the custodian and the CEO. I did that video, said you belong too. The reason I could handle that situation I did with that woman who asked me for a glass of champagne is because I'm a professional. Now, my thoughts and my feelings were one thing, but I handled it as a professional. I was in front of the CEO. That is a hallmark of a person who's actually thinking about his career. There are several ways to improve your professionalism. One of the best ones is book your image consult with me. I don't know what the hell you guys are waiting for. If you've been around me, let me just say this. How many people are professionals and or business owners? Don't do anything yet. Don't do anything yet. How many people are professionals and or business owners and you've been following me 3 months or longer? If you're a professional and or a business owner and you've been following me longer than 3 months, put a 3 in the chat room. Marcus says he has. Caliber says he has. Scott says he has. Theo, Patrick, Big Discussion 7-6, Tony, Real Vinsanity. David S. Will Smith, Clockwork. Eric Glenn. Tim Locke, Aquaman Love. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 people. Of the 14 people I see there, I don't recall any one of you booking a one-on-one Skype consultation. A one-on-one virtual consultation. You know where I'm going with this. If you haven't worked with me, tell me the image consultant you've actually worked with. Because if you're a professional and or a business owner, you've been following me longer than 3 months, you should have actually done this by now. Because you should have the money to do it. If not, go sell plasma. I don't do a lot of social media. That's your problem. See, your problem is you think social media as a distraction and not a business networking opportunity. As soon as I get the money, as soon as you get the money, okay, we got to talk there. We got to talk there. This is where I'm about to be a dick. Man, if you don't have $600, shoot yourself. See, professionals don't sweat going to get a certification or additional training or additional investment in themselves because they know they know it's required to reap a reward later. They're playing the long game. People who call themselves professionals or job holders, they are risk averse. They always look at money. So I said at 23, the best thing to do will be stop trying to pay the minimum on your student loan debt, pay the minimums on everything, and go take the money and invest in yourself. The very thing I did when I came out in this corporate sales. I made $35,000 my first year as an outside salesperson. I took $5,000 of that $35,000 and invested it in outside sales training. And that $5,000 made me an additional $15,000 the next year. You will never win not investing in yourself. And I should not have to ask you, if you've been watching me for 3 months and you call yourself a professional or business owner, I should not have to ask you a question like that. You should have already done this with me or somebody else. If somebody has to tap you on the shoulder and ask you about investing in yourself, you're not what you say you are. You're just talking. A bunch of excuses are going to start coming out. And that's what happens when because here's the thing, ladies, pay attention. When men start talking about money, the truth comes out. See, we can talk and we can hide a lot of stuff, but show me your wallet and I'll show you your priorities. Tell me how much money you've invested in your personal improvement that is not Audible.com, a gym membership, or college. Name me some things you've done to improve yourself this year. Tell me how many thousands of dollars you spent to improve yourself. That means additional sales training, coaching, life coaching. Put the money down here. That's what you got to do, man. See, nobody has to tell Tom Brady that he needed quarterback coaching. What are we talking about, guys? You just can't. What are you talking? Why are you asking him? You got to be here. Look, man. People often ask the question, why go to Harvard when you can go to community college? It's just calculus. You don't go to Harvard for the calculus. You go to Harvard for the network. Bottom line is this. If you're not investing in yourself, you're a lower level. You're not a winner. You're not a top 20, you're not a top 20%, you're not a top 10% guy. You can talk the game, you can say whatever you want, but the money meets the road. Somebody says $2,500 altering suits. And I would say this. I would say you spend $2,500 altering suits. And I would say, but if you didn't do the initial work of even understanding what your image, what your style personality is, and whether or not those suits even actually fit you, that's the cart before the horse. That's like putting chrome wheels on a car with a bad engine. Bottom line, money tells the truth. Follow the money, ladies. If a man's not investing in himself, he's not going to invest in you. If a man's not planning for himself in the long term, he has no reason to be fucking with you. If you're an FBI woman, feminine, beautiful, inspirational, you're doing all this work to make yourself feminine, beautiful, inspirational, cooperative, and the man's not actively investing in himself, actively planning for his future, leave him the fuck alone. Don't even talk to him. You ask him his profession and he starts beatboxing, go over there. Money tells the truth. This is about to bother some people, so brace yourself. As we talking about professionalism, look, we got to inevitably get over into class. People often will ask you your profession. We look at where you live, what you drive, where you eat, what you do. When you meet a man who says he's well-traveled and well-schooled, you automatically start asking about the school he went to. Was he there on scholarship or whatever? Let me be careful how I say this. There is a massive difference when it comes to travel in the mind of others if you paid for it yourself versus you got it through the military. Let me explain. If you're in the military and the extent of your schooling or your travel is through Uncle Sam, you still have all the experiences. You still have all the knowledge, but it does not rate as high as, say, George over here went to college and put himself through college on scholarships. Then George did a foreign exchange program and went to Europe, or George did an internship in France, or George went out and worked and had to pay to go to France and go travel. It matters more in the intangible places people don't want to talk about in polite society. People don't want to say that, but behind closed doors, it is the truth. It's the same reason why if you went to an Ivy League school or a top 50 college or university, it matters more than if you went to a state college or university. I'm not saying you're stepping on a lot of people's toes with that one, a lot of YouTubers. I don't think anybody that I'm saying that to would say that this, I'm talking about professionalism. Military as a profession, yes. But I come from a military family. My brothers, career military guys, but none of them could get out. You could be, one had a deep career as a medic and all these other kind of things, but when he came out of military, he still would have had to go to college and medical school to do the things he was trained to do on the battlefield. It's always been that way. We look at these tracks very differently. That's why I said the knowledge is yours. But the gravitas, think of it like this. Wearing Tom Ford versus Tommy Hilfiger. You could have a Tommy Hilfiger suit And it could be a really nice suit, but a Tom Ford suit because we associate with a different caliber of experience and brand. So that's it. I don't know I'm not wrong, and I don't really care what you think. Who is this person saying I'm wrong? If you're gonna come in here and say I'm wrong, you better tell me how I'm wrong, Michael. Even better, don't tell me. Get on the stream. Because now I know I'm going to start getting on people's toes, because the reality is if you travel with the military, that's cool. But could you do outside of the military what you did in the military? Traveling as a civilian requires lots of money. See, going to Paris as a civilian is different than going to Paris in the military. That's just the way it is, bro. You don't think so? Okay. Go out this weekend. Go out this weekend with somebody who's traveled the world with the military. Then go out this weekend with somebody who's traveled the world on their own dime and see how people treat those two experiences very differently. Okay, and in the chat room, if you look at those things differently, individually, if you're sitting in front of Tom and Harry, and Tom saw the world, he saw France, Germany, Sweden, whatever, during his 10, 20 years in the military, and then you have Harry who saw the same countries through his own efforts that he funded. Tell me, if you see those two things equally, put a 2 in the chat room. If you see those things as differently, put a 4 in the chat room. See, we have to get comfortable with telling the truth. There is a difference. Just like going to community college and doing calculus is different than going to MIT and doing calculus. This has come down to a class thing, because being able to travel is a luxury that only is afforded to the people who are rich. Middle class people don't travel internationally. They don't travel internationally like the average middle class person is not, the average middle class family of 4 is not going to Paris. Disneyland, Disney World, Six Flags, the water parks, that kind of stuff, wherever you can drive to. But the average family of 4 is not jaunting down to Sydney for 4 weeks. Yep. All right, let's round it out to this too. You need to be able to identify what your profession is so you can understand who you need to be networking with and dealing with. Because most people today are living very small lives, thinking small, and a profession should open up your life to think bigger. Let me say this again. Give you a sense of direction in your life, helps you attain status in society, helps provide a predictable structure, helps you make acquaintances and friends. People with jobs don't tend to make friends at jobs because jobs are temporary. Careers, people tend to have work families. Who's just coming here asking me about cologne? Don't come in here doing that, man. I'm on a whole different. Let me go ahead and put you in timeout. Go ahead and put you in. I mean, I think it's kind of rude coming in someplace where I'm obviously talking about one thing and you come in and just, hey, by the way, what's the best cologne? Psh, get out of here. If the CEO of a large company travels to France to sign a multi-million deal, the CEO, Michael, leave my chat room. Just go. That's what you need to do. Just go. I'm not really, let me help you out. See, I don't deal with contrarians. You want to be right, you're right. Now go ahead. Think what you want. I could care less. Goodbye. See, people like that, gentlemen, ladies, you need to just get rid of people like that in your life. Don't argue with folks. Get rid of them. For various reasons. For various reasons. You don't benefit from having shit like that going in your world. This is the reason why, I mean, you ever ask yourself a reason why a guy from a middle-class family would allow his parents to go take a second mortgage out on the house to put him through Ivy League school versus going to state school? When I was graduating from high school, there was a guy by the name of, I don't want to say his full name, K. Moore. He had a partial scholarship to the University of Pennsylvania. He allowed his family to take out a second mortgage on his house so he could graduate from University of Penn. He was the valedictorian of his class. That move helped put him in a position to make millions more dollars than the salutatorian. Going to Ivy League schools, there is a reason. Why, I mean, you got to ask yourself, why do people not play at the public golf course? Why are they going to country club? Why do people drive, a 500 series Mercedes when they could drive a Honda Civic? Your net worth determines your net worth. Yep. Heidel says it, and Heidel says exactly what I'm saying. Heidel, Kevin, you're right. Traveling as a civilian is way more expensive than traveling with the military. Traveling on a government dime is a huge reason why people join the military in the first place. And I support that 100%. I oftentimes suggest young men who are lacking serious direction early in life to go to the military for the travel, the training, and the experience. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that in the real world that it's the same. No one can take the knowledge from you. See, the thing is, when you start making distinctions, guys get sensitive, guys get in their feelings because they feel like you're trying to talk down to me or you're trying to minimize it. That's bitch made. That's pussy. Motherfucker, if you travel with the military and you learn and you good at what you learn, cool. Ain't nobody saying that they ain't worth nothing. But don't sit around and act like you had the thousands and thousands of dollars to fund that shit. When you come back over here and you making, how many of the guys this Michael dude came in, how many of you guys who travel with the military can come over here and make the kind of money that could do that on their own? I don't know many military guys who go work in the private sector who are making 6 figures plus. That's not an insult, it's a statement of fact. None of my brothers could. None of my uncle couldn't do it. None of my uncles could do it. Go ahead and do this for you. Hold on. Let me go ahead. You ask a stupid question, you're going to get timed out. Ask another stupid question, you're going to get banned. Don't come in here asking dumbass questions while I'm talking about profession and everything else. Asking me questions about, you want to ask me a question? You want to ask me a question? Put it in the super chat. I am prior military and I'm paid very well. It does not disprove. See, I told you I was going to trigger people. It's going to trigger people. They don't care how well you paid. You could not pay for the travel you did out of your pocket. True or false? You cannot pay for the schooling you got and the travel you did out of your pocket. That's like Heidel said. That's one of the main reasons people go, and they should. But stop trying to make it equivalent to somebody paying out of their pocket is disingenuous. I don't care what they call it very well. Woman, how do you figure out what you want? Y'all can argue it back and forth. I don't really care. I've said what I said. You saw everybody to believe it. How do you figure out what you want? You gotta try a lot of shit.
How do you figure out what you want to do?
You gotta try a lot of shit. But here's the thing. Nobody's really doing what they want to do. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm doing what I want to do, and I didn't get a chance to do it till I was in my 40s. I didn't want to be an engineer. I went to school for that because it paid the most money. That's it. I was in sales because it paid the most money, and it allowed me the freedom I wanted. I didn't want to sell office products. I didn't want to sell telecom. It paid the most money. Life ain't about doing what you want to do. Life is about doing what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. You got to do 60. Let's put it this way. As a young person, that means under 50, you got to pay your dues. You got to put it in your 20. You got to put in your 20. I actually say your 30 years before you can do what the fuck you want to do. Don't beat me up. I just joined the conversation. Don't come in here telling folks what to do, sensitive ass. See, that's another thing. I talked about this yesterday, man. I'm tired of you weak, you pussy professionals, man. Stop being so sensitive. If you cannot take the truth, you cannot handle what's waiting for you out here at the director level and higher. You cannot take it. There is a movie, Glengarry Glen Ross. Alec Baldwin plays a character called Blake, and he comes in and gives a monologue sales speech to the sales guys there. Watch that. That is mild. That is mild. No, Jedi Mac, you didn't take it personally when I roasted you on the ground because you know it was coming from a good place. Because the thing is, what do I get out of honestly, outside of the super chats, what do I get out of telling you valuable information that it took me 30 years to gather? 20 plus years to gather? It doesn't do me anything.
I feel you. Close or get coffee. Close or get out.
That's it. Coffee is for closers only. Brazil in the house. Look, man, when I went to work in corporate America, there was nobody like me. I made a lot of mistakes and trying to give you guys the cheat code. And I'm gonna tell you, the best cheat code I can give you is this. I don't care if you got to go out and turn tricks. You need to get about $5,000 in cash. Get your image consult together and get you some training. If you call yourself a business owner, if you call yourself a business owner, you have a product or a service to sell. No one's going to knock at your door. You need to go get some sales training, a underlying sales philosophy, DEI, Zig Ziglar, Sandler. You need an underlying sales philosophy. You need to learn how to sell. You need to go to sales school. I don't care if you're selling tiddlywinks. As a business owner, You can only make your product or service. Eventually, you're going to have to get this into somebody's hands and get money for it. And that requires sales. You need to look like money and sell. So go out and turn tricks. Get that $5,000 and invest it in yourself. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, quit and go get a goddamn job, because you're not willing to do what it takes to be successful. So many of you guys have worthless fucking college degrees, 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 in debt for a worthless degree, and you're not willing to take the $5,000 that it would take to set that shit on fire. You're stupid for doing that. Let me say it again. You're fucking stupid for doing that. Big boy game. I respect
you being straightforward. I'm actually going to take time out and re-access. Be as blunt as possible.
Shout out to Glendon Cameron today. He was talking about big boy game. Big boy game, man. Little investment, little reward. If you want to invest $500 in yourself, you think you're going to get something out of a $500 investment? You want to invest $500 to get $10,000 back? No. Life is long. You need to figure out you need to be in your profession and investing in yourself. Because if you've been on my channel, you've heard me say this before. Everything you want in life is out there. Everything you want is already in other people's hands. Your job is to get people to like you, to give you the things you want. But you don't hustle people to do that. Life is about about people. You got to be able to go out and do things, because keeping your head down, working harder. You only have 24 hours. I used the example of being a barber yesterday, right? You can be a barber and cut 2 heads an hour. That's one every 30 minutes. And if you book 8 hours back to back, that's 16 heads a day. You get sick, you don't make any money. You have a car accident, don't make any money. Bad weather, you don't make any money. But if you actually own the shop, you get sick, the barbers are paying you. You gotta think bigger than just. Let me tell you why most people don't want to think bigger, collaborate, and work together. Because you're not a friend. You have a serious distrust of men. Men who did not have strong fathers tend to have daddy issues. So at the end of the day, you don't trust any man. When money comes out, you get real suspicious of other men. You can sit around and bullshit and talk all you want and jibber jabber, but when money comes out, money tells the truth. You don't trust nobody because you don't trust men. You have a negative image of men. And if the men look like you, it's even worse. This is why men from patriarchies work better together than men from the West. That's why you don't want to book your consultation with me, because all you look at is, why is he trying to get me to get my money? I can just watch his videos for free. I can just watch the content for free because you broke, stingy, and cheap in your mindset. You don't value your time more than your money, which tells me you still have a pre-25-year-old mindset. Over 25 years old, you should value your time more than your money. Also shows you you're not making a lot of money, because when you make enough money, your time becomes precious. What does coaching or consulting do at its basic? And it's fundamental what coaching or consulting does for anybody is it saves you valuable time. If you make a good first impression, you don't have to go through trying to make an impression on each person. If you valuable time. That's it. I guarantee you this. When I walk in my nice suit, smelling like Tom Ford and Neroli Portofino, and I see that woman over there, and she catches my eye, and then she looks that way and does this. You know how much time I just saved? When she looks and says, I like the way that lapel looks, and look at the way that suit fits. Okay. Oh. And when I walk that direction and go to the bathroom and she smells me and I turn around, you know how much time I saved? That's why I say the guys who you've been around 3 months or longer and you call yourself a business owner or a professional, you're wasting time. You waste more money than you could ever pay me. I have a lot of people who've gone to my MIT or whatever. They're in here. They'll tell you, Jesus Christ. I've yet to have a guy that I've done a consultation with that said, I wish I'd known this earlier. See, when you are a high value man, Henry, when you're a high value man, you value your time more than anything else. You won't allow anyone to waste your time. And you spend money back. You spend money to get your time back. See, this is why ultimately a lot of guys aren't going to be successful, because you're not willing to put money out there to use it as a tool. You hold money like this. You just, oh my God, I can't spend $700. I can't $800. I can't do it. MIT is going, what, MIT Dallas? How much is it going to cost? I can't. MIT, it was in Atlanta. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And guess what? The guys who lived in Atlanta who did not show up, you missed something that would change your life. And you will end up fucking that money off anyway. See, professionals, high value professionals, realize that more than anything else. Professionals give you back time. Time is the most valuable commodity. And rich people know that. Broke people don't. I don't say poor, I say broke. Broke people don't. What advice do you have for ex-cons? Depends on what you're convicted of. Now, plenty of ex-cons who are successful. One of the main pieces of advice I have for ex-cons is do not be afraid or judge guys from the business class. You need to work together with these folks. Blue collar and white collar need to work together. Ex-cons who pay their debt to society and you need to work with these folks. You can only get so far by yourself. See, you could be an ex-con. I know a lot of guys who are ex-cons who are barbers. But there's a difference between being a barber and owning 8 barbershops. You take the average, I won't say take the average, but look at New Jack City. We studied New Jack City in economics when I was in college. Nino Brown could have run the average Fortune 500 company. It's a transferable skill. The question is, what are your skill sets? And how can they be used to make money? You sold drugs. Then you have some valuable skill sets. The Kennedys sold the drug of their day. They bootleg. They were liquor runners. Most ex-cons look at business dudes like you're gonna look down on them. And it's really not that way. Got to find a way to work together. Because the thing is, the higher up you go, it gets crooked in some of these companies. When I said ethics and morals, understand something. When you start getting to the executive levels, man, look at what Bill Gates did to Steve Jobs and Microsoft. Think of what Microsoft did to the competition. Bill Gates is a gangster. Look at what Facebook is doing. Man, please. There are a lot of great ways that politicians, you know how many people politicians have behind the scenes? Let's talk about that. If you're not thinking long-term business and politics, see, who's your locals?
I hope the universe continues to bless you, bro. Great information. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You want to have power? You got to spread money around. You need to make sure you put enough money in your local councilman. Whether an alderman, if you got those, you need to be a part of the. You need to donate to the police. The mayor needs to know your name. You need to buy a politician before you need them. See, woo. But you got to work with other people. Cash is a means to an end. And trust me, I've worked with convicts before who come out and rehabilitate an image. Hell, Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street, is on YouTube right now. I don't care about the crime. If you paid your debt, let's move. The more money you hold, but understand this, if you hold money like this, if you have fear when it comes to your money, you will never be rich. You won't. I say it again, show me a man who does not, ladies, pay very close attention to men who do not invest in themselves. If they don't invest in themselves and they have no plan, avoid them. I don't care what they're talking about. Money tells the truth. All right, Godfather tip. Watch the show Shark Tank. Binge watch it. Understand. You need to spend money to make money. People, see, here's the thing. How many people peep game? How many people watch the beginning of the stream? When I start talking about, I got this camera, I got that camera, I started off filming on this, and then I upgraded to this, and then I went over to this, and then I went over, got this because it's 4K, then I got this, and then I got this gimbal, and I got another gimbal. How many people saw the lighting and all of that stuff? You saw all that stuff, and what did that tell you? This man actually is investing in being a professional YouTuber in addition to his business. It is easier for people to invest or spend money with you when they see you doing it yourself. That's a truism. People who showed up at MIT, most of them I didn't know. But it was easier for people to actually come to MIT because they've seen me do something. They've seen me show my work. Show yourself your work. Prove to yourself through your actions that you are really that you are really ready to take it to the next level by actually investing some bread into yourself. Go back to O'Shea. O'Shea was in Sacramento. He went all the way to fucking Poland. You tell me that's not impressive. There are medical schools, and sure, there may have been other situations, but how many people would have let that stop them? What did that tell you about a guy who's willing to go to Poland at 34? What does that tell you? What does it tell you? What are you willing to do? From what I understand, he said he's not dated a woman over there, and willing to move to all white Poland, like in sisters. Can you imagine? What lesson did you take from that? What are you willing to do? Do you not think that people see that? Do you not think women don't see that? What are you willing to do? You got to make moves. You got to think big. You got to take risks. If you want something out of life, you have to, you can't nickel and dime this shit, man. You're going to have to drop thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours. Or, here's the alternative, I'm gonna wrap it up. Or you don't do that. What's going on, Q brother? That brother owns a school. You gotta do something. And as a man, you gotta get to a point where you gotta stop talking and show your work, whatever your work is. I don't judge your work. Your work and my work are two different works. You may not feel the purse y'all say I wear, and my funny color shoes, and my nose ring, and you may not feel any of the shit I do. But what you cannot say is that brother does. You cannot say that brother doesn't work, because men ultimately we operate on a level of respect, and we always respect work. We always respect risk. We always respect putting yourself out there. And the first person you got to prove it to is you. Because so many of us come from situations where we were broken before we even got a chance to be started. Don't get me to preaching out here, man. I was raised to be a pussy just like you. I told you I was raised by, come on, man. I was beaten and broken before I was even started. And I had my issues and everything else. But so what? But the person I had to prove it to first was to me. And now I walk around, like I said, I moved to New York just like that because I believed in me. I could take care of me. And if people there could make it, I could too. That's why I was talking about how O'Shea could go over there, because O'Shea knew he was going to do the goddamn work. I mean, do you think he was going to go over there to fail and come back to Sacramento? I mean, think about that. Long odds already. Oh, man, you're going to medical school in your mid-30s? You're going over to Poland? You know how many people count that brother out probably? Oh, this nigga gonna go over there and gonna flunk out, fuck them white hoes in, and just waiting for him to come back and see him fucked up. No. No. See, when you bet on yourself, when you gamble on yourself, that is the best investment you can make because you control it. That's why I am so aggrieved when I see you brothers not investing in yourself, because you're telling the world you don't believe, and you're telling yourself you don't do. All right, folks, I got to grab me something to eat. Your profession. Your profession is a badge of honor that you should wear proudly as a man. You should wear your profession proudly as a man. Yes, it identifies you. It signifies you. Are you proud of your profession? Are you proud of you? And how are you showing it to the world? All right, folks. That's it for tonight. Join me on Patreon for exclusive videos and live stream content. Join me on Instagram for up-to-date live streams and things that you will only catch there, because I can't always live stream here. I'll leave this up for at least 12 hours. I think there's some valuable content. You know, eat the meat, spit out the bones. If I say something that rubs you the wrong way, it's in love. How you know it's in love? If it wasn't, I wouldn't waste my time. I don't need to tell you something I already know. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Use what you can. More importantly, I challenge you. I challenge you to become better than you think's possible. Challenge you to become better than you thought possible. And in order to do that, it's going to require you to work with other people. Not just the people you're comfortable with. Like the brother came in and said he's an ex-con or a felon. It's going to require you working with people like that. They got to work with you too. It's going to require you working. That's why go watch that video where I said, Black men, you belong. Men, it's going to require us working together. Because we all we got, man. We all we got at the end of the day. We rise and fall. And if you're up here and everybody else is down here, you ain't sleeping comfortable at night. A rising tide lifts all boats. It's time for us to rise, man. Till next time, talk to you later.